All right, so to finish a lot of pots, especially your wheel pots, there's some things you can do to make them a lot nicer. All right, so this is an okay pot. I kept it for this demo. A lot of times in the wheel demonstration I showed to like sand that off prior to this, but because I did this on purpose so I could show you this, we'll do it, right? So first thing, some of the tools you might want are one of these loop tools, maybe an X-Acto knife, and definitely a sponge. All right, so these loop tools right here, and you'll notice I'm going to do this over something. Garbage can would be best. If I just do it over the mat, you know, just use your cleanup skills and clean it up. But this is a little chunky right here. Okay, I just did half of it like that with just a dry tool. But if I take a sponge that's a little damp and I go over it, and this is not cooked clay, this is just dry, right? So now I've done that, you can see that it's a lot cleaner, maybe not so chunky either. So that's it in a nutshell. And you can take quite a bit off if you're careful. Just be mindful that it's making a mess. And if I was to get it more hydrated right now, then it wouldn't be making such a mess. So maybe I'll just do a little bit more of that. Now you could sit here and actually smooth this out, smooth it out, just like this. Shouldn't have, if you get this too wet at this point and it expands and contracts, you might get more cracks than you already have. But there we go. So, but now the bottom is a lot nicer to hold and all that good stuff. So that is that in a nutshell. You can use, you know, X-Acto knives and sort of do the same thing as scrape it off. I do this a lot more on edges that I want a nice clean edge on and stuff like that. That's a little sharp inside. I could clean that up and make it, I don't know. But bottom line, this project looked okay, but by just going over it, I can get rid of any fingerprints that I had. I just need to be careful I don't put any more on now. Maybe a drier sponge will help me there. Maybe round that edge and that corner up there. Okay, now that is the just finishing the bottom portion of this little demo. But the last thing that we should do, you may have already done this, is if you had your stamp handy and you stamped it when it was still wet clay, you could have stamped it. At this point I really can't stamp it, so any of these pointy tools, it's funny, I have people use magic marker and try and sign their names and stuff like that, and it just doesn't work. So one of these round tools, so if I go ahead and push kind of aggressively, I should get a nice mark. We want to make sure it's nice and deep so it's easy to see. Okay, but you know, we could use an X-Acto knife the same way. Maybe I'm just going to decorate with that. It's a little, it just does different things, right? Because it's a nice sharp edge, it's not round. And then there's also these guys here. They're just kind of other sharp tools. But you can do some cool designs with that. I could go around here and make some texture marks. But there's tons of tools, and I don't always see people trying them out, and I think you guys lose some of the fun with pottery because you're just doing something to turn in for a grade. But there you go, finishing a pot, especially that bottom, it's a lot nicer. A lot of pot people don't do anything to that, and it kind of shows up. So there you go. Thanks, Eagles.